Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be talking about Valka. Should you pull her or should you pass her? If you've been patient to wait up until this point, congratulations to you. You have more patience than I think 90 or 95% of people. We have 3.5 days left on the Valka rate up recruitment. And I'm going to give you, so honestly, I'm going to tell you right up front that I think you can safely pass on Valka. It should not hold you back, most likely, anytime in the near future. Probably not even in upcoming seasons. Honestly speaking, I think that Valka just isn't quite there to where we needed her to be in order for her to be usable in different areas, for example, Dream Realm or PvP. But I am going to mention what are the bonuses or the plus points of Valka, and if you have already recruited for her, I think you're not in a bad position because later on in the season, you can decide to swap her with a more impactful A-level hero if one comes out, and if another one doesn't come out, I do think that there may be some use of Valka in the future for who knows. Like, I think she is a hero that is like on the borderline of usable, but nothing is quite like catered to her yet. My short of the video is basically you can skip her, it should not affect you, and for free-to-play players, this is just a general point of advice. If you have not gotten to like Mythic Plus or even Supreme Plus of your key heroes, for example like Sonya, Iron, Almas, the heroes you need, the staples of your account, you should be recruiting on regular all-hero recruitment because rate-up recruitment, it comes at a cost. You're going to have a lower drop rate of the A levels, a 10% consolidated rate compared to all-hero recruitment, which will have a 22.5% consolidated rate, which means that per 10 recruitments, you're going to be getting 2 or more on average from A levels from all-hero, whereas rate-up only 1. So it really is going to hold you back. And that is why rate-up is only recommended for like every player if it is a huge game-changing hero. And as of right now this season, no hero is fitting that description. So, where can Valka potentially be usable in the future? And why was I overhyped about her when she first was revealed? And yeah, I think I'm part of the problem as well, because I did think she was going to be a must-pull on our first revelation of her and the first testing I did. But it was only because everything perfectly lined up in her favor. She was released from Vietnam server on a day where Lone Gaze was the boss, and she had the best chance of being a good option at basically that exact resonating level at that specific boss. However, the next week Harak overtook Valka in terms of performance, even in the Lone Gaze. So it was kind of like the perfect timing for her to be released to show potential, but realistically she is not a top option as a damage dealer. And the problem is her ultimate, even though it has what looks like an insane multiplier, 800% attack, attacking 3 times, and as true damage. All of those hits are true damage. The problem is, it is going to be once every 6 seconds is the only time she will be able to cast it. With ultimate power, it can go down in cooldown. So when mythic magic charms come out, potentially she could make somewhat of a comeback. But she still does have to cause the enemy to enter the panic state before she is able to deal this attack. So that is kind of the problem. I mean, if this were not a 6 second, but it was like a 3 second cooldown, maybe she would actually be meta. But at 6 seconds, she just doesn't have enough damage output to make her a top damage dealer option for even endless Dream Realm bosses. And just a point is that true damage dealers come online for endless Dream Realm bosses where the bosses have astronomically high physical and magical defenses, and you need true damage or HP per second damage in order to cut through and deal decent output. So for pre-endless, I don't think Valka probably will ever really be a great option. The other thing that she provides is the attack speed buff to allies 1 tile in the team formation, 1 tile adjacent to her at the beginning of the match. However, the 50 attack speed is not enough. Maybe if it were 50 haste, it would be game changing enough, but 50 just attack speed is not enough of a buff. So this is the problem with Valka. She is on the fence of being usable, but she is more on the side of unusable compared to usable. And it is kind of how Lily May is in Dream Realm these days, that Lily May is never a part of a top team anymore, whereas last or 2 seasons ago when she was released, she was top in every boss, even for pre-endless and post-endless. So things rapidly change and evolve in this game. But also, due to that fact, Valka is more likely to become even more unusable in the future. That is the problem. And now, you can have some PvP uses of Valka. I don't think she's a bad PvP hero. And on like the whale account that we are playing on, I am using her on my arena defense because I think she's a kind of cool tank. She can counter melee ultimates, and she can provide a good buff to your other carries that attack speed. However, honestly speaking, I don't really think she is doing better than any other hero in her slot. And for Supreme Arena, I'm not really using Valka. It is kind of awkward to fit her in a team, especially because Graveborn faction talents always sadly are not the greatest option. Definitely on defense, and even in this season on defense, not the greatest option. And so that is the thing about Valka. Overall, I think her kit is cool. It just is not tuned up high enough for her to see value in any major game mode. So yes, I do apologize if you recruited after the videos and testing that I made, but honestly at that point in time, I did think she was going to be important to have, and I did say that even if it turns out that she's bad, we can swap her later on. And that is why from now on, for the rest of the season, if you've recruited for Valka, I would not recruit for another A-level hero, because we're just going to want to swap Valka, potentially. Unless something comes out that is really game-changing, and you might want to keep Valka. So that is the thing. And I think another reason, of course, Valka was like the featured hero this season in the storyline. She's even on the home page right now, or login page. She is definitely a defining character of this season, and she is super cool. Like, everyone kind of wants her on their account, and so that is also a reason to recruit for her if you're just a fan of her character design. And you can definitely make use of her even in Supreme Arena. She's not a bad option. It's just like kind of, I haven't found the greatest team to make her work the most effectively. So that is my opinion about Valka. Now, in the future, what could change to allow Valka to become relevant? Honestly speaking, the only thing that comes first to mind is if we get, so we know that, or most likely, the next hero, we have 2 more heroes left. One will be a Celestial Rogue for Hypogean Celestials, one will be a Hypogean Marksman. These are the 2 classes which have not received a Celestial Hypogean yet, and then after these 2 classes have been complete, the whole range of different factions for Celestial Hypogean and classes will have been met. I guess we will have 12 Celestial Hypogeans in total. So I'm thinking that if either one of the 2 heroes is really reliant on damage output through attack speed, potentially Valka just for attack speed buff could be enough. But unfortunately, it just doesn't seem enough. 50 attack speed? I mean, if you had like an HP per second damage dealer marksman, Hypogean, for example, and you give them 50 attack speed, and with skill power up to 75 attack speed, potentially that could be enough, because Valka herself also does contribute decent damage for endless bosses. It's not like she's a dead weight, just with buffing potential, but like if she can really get a lot of value from her attack speed buff, or if we can get ultimate power to lower the cooldown of her true damage, I think those are the only ways that she can see some viability. But honestly speaking, when we have the charms unlocked, then the other heroes become even better. Ludovic becomes better, Shakira becomes better. She's competing with a lot, and this is the problem. And I think going forward now, I'm gonna be very critical of heroes which are released. Even if the kits look amazing for Dream Realm, we have to be super critical now, because we have so many top tier Dream Realm options for damage dealers, for supports, that like it's not really going to be easy for a hero to come out and actually be meta or relevant in Dream Realm. And even if the kit looks like it has potential, we'll have to wait for at least 1 week of testing in order to see what would happen, because we now have basically a very complete holistic picture of Valka now that we've waited like 2 weeks of her rate up banner being out. And that is kind of a great thing if you're able to be patient and wait, because then you'll have basically no regrets if you recruit at the end of the banner seeing the hero being very dominant. But sometimes you can feel some regret if you recruit at the beginning of the banner and she doesn't turn out to be amazing. So this is just the general advice. If you are a patient person, you will really prosper in this game, for not only for rate up recruitment heroes, it's for everything in this game, because this game requires a lot of patience, or it requires a lot of spending in order to like keep up in all of the different game modes. But patience just in all of your life is going to be more of a valuable attribute than buying your way to the top, in my opinion. But anyway, guys, that is not the topic of this video. So you guys can share your thoughts about Valka in the comment section down below. What do you think about her? Do you think she has potential in the future to be usable? Maybe when her magic charms come out, mythic charms, giving her ultimate power, skill power. Maybe if there's some other hero which really depends on normal attacks, her giving attack speed to them might be enough to push her over the edge. Let me know what you think. And if you guys are not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Let's hit it before the end of the season, and turn on notifications by clicking the bell so you're notified whenever we upload a video. But thank you guys for watching. I will hopefully see you in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.